I just wanna chill and vibe. Baby girl, keep it real, no lies. She said she 21, I said alright. If we gon' be grown, then speak your mind. I just wanna chill and vibe. 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 Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Turn up, gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. I started slow. Only good vibes. No, I'm serious. Let's start the show. Come on, Mom. Come on, Mom. Only good vibes. Turn up. Turn up.
Oh, this is for the simples.
Yeah. We sipping in conversation.
Hey everybody!
What's good, simples? This is your boy Buddha, and over there is the lovely
Baby on the ones and twos.
When she hit me with a new line, I got to be ready. I got to be ready. So let me see here. So, baby, how was your day?
It was a great day to be great.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I was faced with a few challenges, but I had some redemption, and with those challenges, and yeah, I thought it was a good day. Like, you know, where all the things that I say actually came into fruition, and I was just like,
oh, I can't wait to hear this in full detail.
yeah. It wasn't just, I didn't have to, it didn't come off as just me complaining.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How was your day?
Well, you know, we have a lot of people on travel right at the moment, so they're expecting me to do a whole lot. Put this cape on, which I'm doing pretty well, and I'm not alone. I have a real good team with me. My right-hand man, new right-hand man, he's A1.
Okay.
He's just like me.
It's always a beautiful thing when people come in to get in there. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
So listen, everybody, we have a new special guest. Tell the people who you are.
Well, I am Brenda K Starr, the elusive one that no one believes exists. And here I am. I wouldn't have missed this opportunity for anything in the world.
Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, right now, I am doing mental health advocacy. I am in the process of starting up my blog while also studying this really government test. But mental health advocacy is my passion. That's what I do my thesis on.
Hey, well, that's always welcoming to have someone that, because especially now during this pandemic.
Definitely.
You got a lot of people losing their jobs, a lot of people gaining weight, a lot of people just doing all of the things, losing, loved ones, and things that they probably suppressed over the years, they're now being triggered because of these traumatic events that's occurring, and it seems like a lot of times it's happening back to back. So what, in your professional opinion, what would be the best advice you would give someone?
What I would give someone is reach out to your tribe. And one of the, I can say personally with anxiety and depression is that you tend to close in on yourself. You tend to think, oh, I don't want to be a burden, and I think that's more of the anxiety and the depression speaking, because as we've seen with the celebrities who have taken their lives, so many people were shocked that they were even going through anything. And they're always like, I wish they would have reached out. And so I implore people to really reach out to their tribe. And it's not necessarily broadcasting to the world or Facebook exactly what's going on. I think we need to pull back from using Facebook as our own personal mental wellness blog, and lean into those that we trust,
Right.
And I think we'll be able to help each other, especially during this time.
Yeah.
Because like you said, what's happening is with everything that they were holding in,
Mm-hmm.
this put it right in front of people's face. A lot of people are caught up with, oh my goodness, I think I'm going to die. And then boom, this is what's happening. You're losing friends, loved ones of all ages, and recently even younger.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't reconcile your own mortality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I can only imagine, just, the comment you made about utilizing Facebook, but the sad reality for many is that, especially those that are introverts,
Yeah,
they may not have a circle or
right.
tribe, and so they befriended people on a social media platform, and so that is
Right.
their quote unquote tribe. So I don't think they should exclusively exclude them,
Right.
but there should be a sense of discernment,
Right.
because people get on these platforms and they are not kind.
And see, that's what it is. When you're in that fragile state of mind,
Yeah.
it's it's not the best energy. And Facebook is like, just like in the Matrix, it is a huge energetic vortex.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
You know?
And then another point you made about reaching out,
Mhm.
what I would say is what's going to be hella important is we need to start creating an environment for the people to talk to us.
Yes. Yeah.
Because oftentimes we say after the fact,
Mhm.
oh, why didn't they say something? Well, you probably weren't the most approachable.
Right, exactly.
You may not have actually put that friend or that person in a place of comfort to confide in you, because you're judgmental,
Right.
or you are critical, and just all the things, or you don't allow them to share.
Right.
Or if they're sharing, they dismiss it or minimize it. So that would be something I would also add, that we now more than ever need to reevaluate how we are actually dealing with those that we call our loved ones or our friends.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Very good. So Buddha, what are you sipping on?
What I'm sipping on. Mm-hmm. I'm sipping on the Buddha Special.
Yeah.
Which is some cognac, cream soda, and cinnamon.
Yeah, y'all don't know about that. Y'all forgot about that.
Yeah, I would give you a sip, but cold.
Yeah, believe me, trust me.
Just mess around.
He's a whole man.
You know what? That's okay, because I had to go to the doctor for my asthma, and I said, while I'm here, could you just just to make sure.
Might as well. I mean, when you're there, go ahead and fulfill all the obligations to yourself.
What you sipping on, baby?
What do I want to call this?
Well, first of all, let's talk about what's in it. You watch me make it, man.
I always try to come up with a name.
You come up with a name?
A name for the drink. Yeah. We're just gonna call you Peachy.
Peachy.
Okay.
You Peachy. This is Peachy. And I say that because this is vodka infused with a white cranberry peach.
Mm.
And a hint of lime juice, because I don't like super sweet drinks, so the lime always kind of give me a happy balance, and he knows that. So, ain't you Peachy?
Right. And,
just in time for the fall.
Just in time for the fall.
And Miss Starr.
Yes.
Do you remember what I made in your drink?
It was a lemon rum, right? And there was
Uh-huh.
ginger ale.
Yeah, right.
And there was one other thing that you put in there. Oh my gosh.
The famous lime juice.
The lime juice. All I know is it's refreshing. And I know as a person who doesn't really drink, I can see myself walking around the house sipping on this, and then all of a sudden it being the next morning. Because it doesn't taste anything, but it's really good and refreshing. I like it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So y'all know who these good folk people is here we got on the scene with the gangster lean. Huh? And you look like y'all matching. I mean, you know, in the same family.
I mean, blues and
Purple.
purple.
You know what I'm saying? Dang. We got our resident sippers. We got the old great Hannibal. We got the old great Miss Dr. Velvet in the building. So
you got something in the glass.
Yeah, we're not drinking water tonight, baby.
Not tonight. I'm grown tonight.
So look, tell them I gotta get some volume on one of my devices so I can hear what y'all saying. Hold that thought. Now I gotta turn it back up.
Okay, turn it up.
I'm trying to think which one I want.
Well, figure it out.
I'll go with this one. Oh, I'm actually using this.
Get it together, baby.
Y'all know I'm the technical one.
I know. Sounds like awesome.
So I need
they go ahead and talk.
emotions.
I turned that one off. So
Okay.
I'll switch between.
Y'all looking beautiful tonight.
What you sipping on, Velvet?
I'm sipping on some agave wine, grapefruit wine. It's wonderful.
Now that sounds refreshing.
It's
too far of a distance. Go ahead and tell us what you're sipping on, Hannibal.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
Maybe you just gotta turn yours off.
Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello?
It's fine. I need to know what Hannibal's sipping on. Oh, let me turn your mic on. Oh, you on. You on.
Hello? Can you hear me
Talk
now?
up.
I'm yelling.
Go for
You
it.
know what? All right. So this is what we're working with tonight. We got some Trinidadian rum and pineapple nectar. That's what I'm working with tonight.
No, pineapple liqueur.
Ooh.
That's what I thought I heard. Did you say
No,
pineapple?
pineapple nectar.
Nectar.
Pineapple
Got it.
nectar.
Oh, okay.
And a
Pineapple nectar.
Trinidadian rum.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, Trinidadian rum will be out.
Ooh. So we have Trinidadian rum. We have an agave with grapefruit. What was the is it vodka or wine?
It's an agave wine made in Mexico. Grapefruit. Yeah. Grapefruit.
Agave wine with grapefruit made in Mexico. All of this sounds good tonight. I don't know. I think we just gonna change the subject and just talk about
How y'all got these?
Right. Could you drop the links?
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. All right. So let's get into it. So listen. Welcome all our sippers, YouTube, Facebook, Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, you name it. Welcome back, and welcome to Sipping and Conversations with Buddha and Baby. You are now tuned in, and we are ready to start the show.
Lego.
Last week, we talked about satisfaction guaranteed.
Satisfaction
And
guaranteed.
is there a measurement? Is there a measurement of love? Okay. So what'd you say?
If the satisfaction is not guaranteed, you have to keep the receipt.
Hey,
I don't mind going back.
Yeah.
Be doing this all day. It was fun the first time. That's it.
Right. So we want to get into the show. So basically, with the satisfaction guarantee, ultimately we were talking a lot about, intimacy and so forth, and if you're not satisfied, how do you, what avenues do you travel, and then in turn it moved, the next part to it was, is there a measurement of love?
Mm-hmm.
And so we collectively agreed that, there's different, everything is subjective. So how you're measuring will basically depend on many different factors: experience, your love language, where you are in your life, what your needs and desires are, the whole 9 yards. So ultimately, yes, there is measurements of love. Is it fair? It can be. I think, yeah, because it'll always be if it's beneficial, but is it fair to the other person? It may not be viewed always as being fair, because if they're the person that's trying to gain your love, and then it's like it's one thing, and it's always something, and they'll do it, but then you come with a whole nother wish list. It's like, are you even, what are we doing here?
Right.
So for those who wasn't on the show, Miss Starr,
Yes.
is there a measurement of love or something like that? What is your version of what she just said?
I mean, I think even if we don't want to say it, a lot of people say, oh my God, you can't measure love. Mm-hmm. We're a quantitative society. Okay. And currency is currency. It's not listen, cash, but energy is currency, So if you feel like someone is not loving you enough, and love is a verb, it's not only an emotion. If they're not loving you enough, you're not going to feel like you're satisfied. Like if they don't understand your love language, if they don't understand how to communicate with you, you're going to be left wanting. And my whole thing is, that's when you have a discussion and take it from there and see how it works.
So what would you say to the people who say either it's all or nothing? Either you love me or you don't. It's all or nothing.
For someone who says, okay, you either love me or you don't.
You're all in,
right?
Or you ain't in and out.
I don't think that's something like you're pressuring someone to love you. And I don't like to be pressured for anything. But especially something that involves my spirit and my soul. So if someone is like, you're either all in or out, I'm like, well, deuces. And that's it. You're not going to hold me hostage.
Right.
You're not going to hold me hostage. Yeah.
So, Mr. Hannibal.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to weigh in on this subject?
Measurement of love. I don't think it's one thing. I think it is a compilation of what the being gives to you, because, and we'll go from physical to emotional. Person can give you a whole lot of sex, but that doesn't necessarily mean they love you. And if you are a well-rounded individual, then the relationship is about more than sex. Maybe I want to sit down and not have to have a conversation. Every time I sit down, doesn't mean I don't want to talk to you, but understand is you just got to finish saying part of the love language. Well, the fact that I can sit down and share my silence with you when I need to do that comes as part of that. So for me, I don't think it's one or two things. It's a summary again of what the being gives to you. I'm simple in that one.
Can you hear me? All right. Just to get a better understanding to what you're saying. So are you agreeing that there's a measurement, meaning there's more than one? Well, in my opinion, a measurement of love is a standard of which you want to be loved. So, you
I
know,
think
if you place a standard on that, then that's your measurement. Meaning that you it can be swayed one way or the other, but there's still a base level where you feel like you need what you need. And
right.
that need needs to be met. And if it ain't met, you're not gonna feel love.
But is it the need or the needs or the whole need? Because we've talked about trust and loyalty. You know, we've talked about that in the past. So maybe you're giving me the emotional, but you're not giving me the trust factor that I need. You know, so that's why I say it has to be, for me, a
Okay.
summation of, you know, the whole being or what the whole being is given to you. Because you can give me part of it and I may be thoroughly satisfied in that area. But on the flip side of that, there may be some things that I'm gritting my teeth about. Or maybe I love you, but I don't trust you because I can't. So
So what do you think about this, Velvet?
Yeah, absolutely do think there is a measurement of love, and it's determined by our individual love languages, and it's actually determined by our traumas. It's determined by many factors, and I think satisfaction can be guaranteed or it can't be guaranteed, and it really has nothing to do with the love, because the love can be given in their best way. Um, and I don't know. I definitely do feel that there is a measurement, and it's based on various factors, as is what most of us have said.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So let's get into tonight's topic. Ooh.
Mm.
All right. And it's funny we were talking about that because tonight what we want to talk about is terms of endearment and more importantly, the discernment and slash deciphering of those terms because in so many different aspects it can be viewed a certain way. Oh, I'm not sure if it's something that I made a mistake on earlier today because I was testing something and I don't know if I got it going on live.
No, it's not.
What do you mean?
Well, somebody was.
Hold on, y'all, because I didn't have time to stop it. So yeah, I didn't mean for it to be the way that I put it. So I think it's being viewed.
On YouTube on.
Oh, really? No, I know it's on Facebook. It's just how it's being presented on Facebook. Okay. I was just making sure because I had it mistakenly as pay.
To pay to watch it? Well, hey, it's a valuable service that you are providing. I'm just
I was doing a test and I think that my test
Ain't no way I pay for this shit.
right.
if you market it the right way, I mean, remember we were talking about Facebook and therapy and everything. Listen, you can work it.
I made it where it was 99 cents. Okay, but I think whatever I did might have.
Ain't nobody watching.
I don't know. Like I said, let me see.
You was a genius.
No, they have me who's so elusive. They're like, I knew she didn't need this.
I just want to check something out before I proceed, because I don't want to Okay, maybe I could do this. Yeah, I just realized something.
No, we don't.
Oh.
But at the same time, I let her be great. Like,
Yeah, y'all know I be
and that's
look,
and
then that's spelled wrong. That wasn't even supposed. Let me cancel this whole thing. Y'all don't laugh at me.
I'm at
But you always start to say
no, she's fixing it up.
It's just that what I did.
Did we lose him?
That's my SOW. All right, very good, very good. So, terms of endearment.
Mhm.
So we hear honey,
Sweetheart.
boo, babe. What else you got?
okay, sweetness, sweetheart,
Sugar.
sugar. Yeah.
I'm a sweet
King.
kind of person.
Yeah.
Hold on, what you say? Velvet,
King, queen.
king.
Right.
Mm. Yeah, all those.
No, he didn't say who. He said so.
You want to know what that means, don't
Yeah, that's a me and her thing.
I
All right.
That's my stepwife.
love
Now
that.
she finna cut you.
Yeah, I
Did
did.
you
I
just
said,
say, oh,
She
I
gonna cut
said-
you if you say stepwife.
I
She
can say
is
it one
not a
more.
stepwife. Don't do that to her.
Okay.
I'm teasing.
Not to my soul. That's our term of endearment that we have with each other. All right. So I'm notorious for saying sweetie.
mhm.
People in my immediate circle, I'll probably got a name, I'll probably say something like Ladybug or Sugar Plum,
Yep.
you know, to that individual.
Right.
But I'm using it not as a term of endearment per se. It just, it's more like, I guess so. It's just a greeting for me,
Right.
But I know that so many people don't like it. Like, there's a lot of people that's okay with it, but then there's a lot of people that don't like it, right? Because if you calling me babe, honey, sweetie,
Right.
how many other women I hear you calling that?
Right.
Or king, queen, that whole king, queen thing,
Right.
that's like a big thing, right? So how many kings and queens? If that's your
Right,
normal greeting, then
How is it special? Right.
how are you differentiating with me being a queen?
Right.
Am I your queen or I'm just amongst the queens?
Right. Of the many.
Okay, there you go.
No, I'm laughing.
Yeah, but can it also be in terms
I
of
just-
inflection,
I
just
kinda
like with
just feel
anything
like-
else?
If I'm the one telling you this
Right.
in this moment in time,
Stick with that.
understand that's how I feel about you.
See, that's how. Let me tell you what that sounded like to
Let me
me.
take a sip.
Right. What that sounded like to me was some old pimp daddy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
See, when I'm with you, baby, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving you all my time in this moment.
Right.
Okay, call slip back.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hello.
I'm giving you all my energy
I think.
You know what I'm saying? When I'm with you, I'm into you, baby. You know
What's
what
up?
I'm saying?
Well, hold on. Like,
Yeah.
so let's not be fooled.
Okay.
Let's not be fooled. Like, you know where you stand in this person's life.
Right.
You know.
See what they
So
said?
what?
I'm gonna give you raw veggies from now on.
That's okay. I know how to take them home and put butter on. Next.
Why?
No. So don't get mistaken. You know where you stand in this person's life or not.
Right.
So if he calling you boo and y'all ain't exclusive,
Right.
why are you checking for?
You're just a generic person.
Well, why are you checking for what's outside of what's going on in y'all space?
So you saying?
You know what I'm saying?
So let me get this straight.
Why call? So why
Who's
call?
saying?
If you
If
not
you know we're not exclusive,
right. So why are you worried about
what the other woman gets?
what I call what I call the other woman? Why are you worried about that?
Because I want to be my own woman.
Right. Are you
sure are?
one or what?
That sounds like
So when I'm with you,
now it's insecurity. Yeah, right.
That sounds insecurity. Like you already know out there in the world there's more than one queen, right?
Really?
You already know.
I want to be the apple of your eye.
No, you absolutely are. I'm sitting here telling you this.
That's all you. But that's
Wow. All right.
Wow. Let's get into what our guests they're into. Velvet, unmute yourself. Give it to
Now,
them.
you see, I hate that I'm next because I tend to always agree with freaking Buddha over here. But I do feel that, I pretty much call everyone I've dated in my life baby, bae. And I really thought they was my baby, my baes, and it had everything to do with that individual, even though I call all of them the same thing.
Now let me just say this, y'all, because I ain't shit. All right.
What kind of disclaimer was that?
Because you ain't shit.
I am.
I be with the shits. Let me.
Okay, that's different. That's different. Okay.
Okay. I actually do feel that if I'm with you, let's focus on that.
Okay.
However, whatever it is, let's be consistent about it. Like, cause all jokes aside, if we laying and playing, and then I turn around and we out in public or whatever, and you address somebody. Now, granted, I'm not insecure and I'm not gonna get in my feelings, but I see you. You know what I'm saying? I see you.
That sounds like getting in Philly.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I'm a whole woman. I am entitled to have my emotions.
Right. You're right.
Okay. So, and you're gonna let me have them. That person will allow me to have them. Okay. And then I just go and I work through figuring out, getting myself pull it together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'll get with my little inner circle and be like, girl, do you know what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like this, and then they could be like, yeah, and then we go back into some bounce, and then I'm like, I need to get it together because this is not happening. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna talk myself through it to get to it. Now, granted, but I heard you call that other girl. But then I'll probably just be like, that must be one of you. Is that her? So one, I don't want to be embarrassed. Like that's my thing. Like, so is that if I know we're not in nothing exclusive, and we haven't fully committed and things like that, or we haven't really had the discussion about are you sleeping with other women type kind of things, then I'll probably go ahead and engage in that conversation with you, especially in my now. I'm going to want to talk about it, like, just so I know, so at least when I'm out in public from henceforth, I'll be able to conduct myself accordingly. And then, because then now I'm going to do me. Huh? Oh, okay. Very good. Very good.
Okay.
I'm going to do me.
What you got?
What you got, old great Hannibal? Unmute yourself. Come on up in here.
Let me come up in here. Okay, so Buddha, picture this. You sitting at a restaurant, waitress comes up, she's calling you baby and honey, and you sitting there just trying to place your order. Now the women that we might be with, the whole women might be sitting there looking at her sideways and looking at us sideways, trying to figure out, one, do you know her, and two, why you calling him baby or honey. uh, and I say that to say, just like we spoke on understanding the love language, sometimes we have to translate the normal language of how people talk and attach that to them. Doesn't necessarily mean that we like it, just understanding where that's coming from. Now, in terms of attaching that to terms of endearment, the some people don't want to be called bae because they consider it cliche,
Right.
you know. And just like you said, I'm greeting you as queen, I'm greeting you as king. I'm sitting downtown at the restaurant, dude's walking by with his female or SO. For those of y'all that don't understand, that significant other. Uh, and you can tell they're together. But when he sees me and my boy, he greets. He's, how y'all doing, kings? Okay. So again, you have to understand the language in which a person chooses to normalize for themselves.
Yeah.
Now, on that same token of if I'm greeting every woman as queen, so now there needs to be a differentiation if I'm going to step to or speak to you instead of queen, then it's my queen. Or there is a certain tone or inflection in the voice that denotes that this is not the same queen that I saw on the sidewalk or greeted in the mall.
Right.
Uh, so that's how we deal with the language aspects of it. But I think in terms of what am I going to call you? I don't want to call you what everybody else calls you.
Right.
You know, I want to be selfish in my connection to you. So I may call you shish kapibble. And while while that sounds as weird as hell, you know, that is that little thing between us
Yeah.
that is special. I don't want anybody else calling you that. That's my pet name for you. And by the same token, nobody else may not understand why you call me whatever you call me. It may be nutcase, and I'm just throwing stuff out there. But
I got
that's
you.
the thing when you think of me or you think of your other, you're like, oh, this is my nut. This is my own little nutcase, or whatever it may be. But I think when we make that determination, we need to. I don't think we should have to explain it to the other person, but I think we should make the effort to let them know that this is special. I'm not calling you this to make fun of you. I'm not calling you this and because this is what I call everybody. I'm calling you this because this is a special nickname or moniker for you from me. Because people will get you give them a moniker, they don't understand it. They go, why are you calling me that?
It's like what
You
you
know, they
said.
may get insulted because they don't understand again the language.
It's been intention. I refer at baby as the soul and the pure noodle because it all comes together and teamwork. No, I'm serious.
Out the noodles?
You don't know to put a chicken soup. But you know, you can't have the chicken soup without the noodles. I mean, I didn't want chicken soup without the noodles when I was little. But you guys work together for the greater good, you know, and embracing people. Like
I'm a little ride with this one. Yeah. I'm a little ride.
You want to be raw? I mean,
I mean, hey, you use the broth on everything.
You
You dig it? You don't use them noodles everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
there's not a child that doesn't want the noodles in the chicken soup, and because it's such a soothing thing. It's such a soothing thing.
Like I said, I'm gonna let you work on that.
Don't let him teach you. You know, the funny thing, at first,
Why can't I be the chicken?
Buddha was my name for him. Okay, that was my pet name for him. But as we grew into our business venture, it became catchy for Buddha and Baby. Baby came about around 10 years ago. There's a whole story behind it, but I won't share that with the public. Um, Only a few people know.
So how do you really say it? How does it really be? Hey,
It's Baby with an I, not a Y, first of all. Okay, let's be clear. Okay, for the people in the back.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, so I had to, people started hearing me call him Buddha, but that was just, they would call him by his government name, of course. And then as we became public people with our business, it's not uncommon that people would refer to him by his business name, you know. And then periodically, you know, someone knows, of course, know him. They just like, at first people wasn't wanting to call him that because they're like, that's your name, which it was, but it became a business name now. So okay, he up for grabs, okay? You can get it.
And I never got another name changed.
And I never changed it, you know. I never gave him anything else because I know the origin of Buddha. You know what I'm saying? So it's still my pet name. It's just I'm allowing you all to enjoy him as Buddha, you know, because I know where it comes from. You know, he and I both know where it comes from. So it's still sentimental, you know. It's just y'all get to say it out loud in public.
Right, but as she said, her name is Baby. Okay. I didn't give her that.
He didn't give it to me.
She said, this is what you're going to call me.
That's what they call me.
And this is where it's going to be. Is that the broth? To the noodle thing?
Right, stupid.
You got to put it on. You want to be the chicken, but I mean, you know, people are just
at the end of the day, I just want to be my own motherfucking soup.
But y'all, I ain't got food to do. I got food to do. Stay on task with the crazy stuff. All right, so here's another question.
I'm noodle. That was my endearment.
But you the noodles to the chicken soup.
Right, you can't have one without the other, and then together you guys, you know, work cohesively.
Chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup with a Coke on side. Hey!
That's not working for me.
You want to be the Coke on the side?
Well, first of all, let's get one thing square. First of all, nobody just outright eats chicken noodle soup unless they're sick. You know what I'm saying?
So when you think about it, that ain't the point. Stop. But then it's just chicken.
Let's talk about this lasagna. I'll be the tomato paste.
Really? No, it's not slow. You dumb and you crazy. I'm not fooling with Buddha. All right, so listen, here's my next question about terms of endearment.
Okay.
As we are now full blown in technology and which in turn social media.
Right. Okay.
How has social media impacted terms of endearment? Or has it? Go ahead, Velvet. You first. Ladies first.
Well, this takes me back to the topic of the mental health with social media. So I personally have gotten off of social media, but I did notice that, you know, being on social media, you do tend to take on various terms that you may have had no knowledge of, like for instance calling Buddha, you know what I mean? That's a term that we've taken on as his name, but really there's deeper meaning behind it that, you know, not a lot of us would even care to ask. It's just that's what we call them. And I think on social media that can happen so easily. You know, because this is how we get to know people. Even me, you know, I'm Dr. Velvet Loves. It's just the terms, and social media says that's my name, so that's my name. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that is heavily influenced by social media and by the personalities that we take on that may or may not be who we really are.
Yeah.
Heavy on that, and just to comment, back to what we said earlier about the mental illness,
Right.
And
Assuming
using, people generally are introverts, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, they can get behind these keyboards.
Yep.
And they can become,
What they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we got to deal with the catfishing and all those different things that come about. But, so you can indeed create a persona
Right.
behind these keyboards, and eventually it becomes the who in public. Oh, you baby. Oh, you Dr. Velvet. Oh, you Buddha. Oh, you Dr. Love Jones. So
First of all, nobody ever speaks on Buddha.
yes,
They always hold on. They always say, "Hey, where's baby?" I mean, they done walked by me 50 times. They walked by me 50 times, but then they see her and be like, you baby from Super. Oh, where's Buddha?
By the way.
Yeah,
he likes to rub that in because it did happen.
Just like, oh, we need to take pictures. Where's where's Buddha? I'm like,
oh, I didn't even realize that was him. I'll be concerned, like, well, I'm the one always kind of changing, whether it's my glasses or my hair color. I don't put my hair out anymore, but so there's that. But if you were watching us when we originally started, I had hair like Miss Brenda.
Right.
Okay. And so with that being, wait, hold on, say that again. Velvet.
I was just letting you know we couldn't see you on camera, but you fixed it.
Sorry, I had to switch it over to get you all in there. This is my natural. This is how my hair can grow. Let me bring it. This is what Buddha saw of me. How Miss Brenda's hair is, and for a long time, like that's all I know about hair. Like, and I finally got to the point. I was like, I'm done.
I mean, like within the first year of us dating,
right,
it was gone and I ain't seen it again.
It was more than a year. It was almost 2 years.
No.
It was.
No.
It was.
No.
It was.
I never. That's how I met her when you had hair.
Oh, the hair. Yeah. I didn't do it until like October when we went to that masquerade party.
No.
It was almost a year and a half when I cut it. It was. Don't listen to Buddha. Baby has always had a lot of hair. For the people that will only see this based on my description, just think of the Afro period. Go back into the 70s where Afros were big and lush.
No, just like
that was
for those who
ultimately in my hair.
For those who need to know, just go on my page. I'm just
giving the description because people that are watching, that will only listen to this on the audio platforms, they need to hear the description. And so when you associate it with something, it allows for them to have a picture.
Right.
She was a nice couple.
Now you're tripping. Now you're tripping. I'm not even about to let you do this to me. And now I'm on some bald head.
You on the bald head.
Straight faded. Okay. And I'm in heaven.
So let's go back to that.
Now let's go back because we want to get Hannibal's opinion. Go ahead. What you say, baby?
No, I just so on social media, they always calling people boo, hey babe, boo, is that third. Those are those are
Common
terms, common terms, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we, if you're trying to get to know somebody,
Mhm.
decipher through these terms and know how what place that they hold in that person's life? You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we get to that point? So, like, if I
On
want
social media.
on social media or in person, no matter.
Okay.
So, I want to get to know baby. Let's say we ain't together. I want to get to know baby, and I'm hearing, hey baby,
Right.
baby, hey baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get to know you.
Right.
How am I going to win?
How do you know that they're calling me baby because that's what my name,
Right.
my,
As opposed to just
as
Or is it-
opposed to just saying baby. In my case, that's different.
right.
Mhm.
And so then I'll correct you. Excuse me, sir. Um,
You gonna give them the middle name?
you, I, we're not, we're not
Right,
acquainted. But I probably will, because I'm probably most likely not going to give you my government name.
Right.
Unless now we're on social media, obviously you're going to get it. It
Right.
just is what it is. Uh, I can't really get around that. However, if I meet you out or whatever, I probably will say what my government name is, and then I'll also say, however, you can call me baby with an I, not a Y. It goes
Right.
together. And so for me, I don't. I guess I'm at an age where all the things don't really trouble me. I'm not disturbed. And I don't even remember ever really kind of being in that space.
Right.
However, I know people that they really take that quite seriously. And now being in social media, you see people using the all the terms,
Right.
hey boo,
Right.
hey babe,
Right.
what's up, babe? Whatever little pet name or just
Right.
the norm. What up, bitch? With BIH, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So it's like we got these things. So that's why I'm curious for everyone's opinion around, revolving around the terms of endearment and how social media may have impacted that. So let me hear what Hannibal has to say, and then I'm gonna let Brenda speak a little bit about that.
I think social media has patterned the way that we choose nicknames. We're not just social media, but media in general. Everything from music to the videos that we're watching, and we're associating the thoughts in our mind, the feel in our emotions at that moment with something that we saw in media, and we're connecting the two, and then connecting them to that other person because that's that connection right there. But on the flip side of that, I also think that social media, media in general, social media especially, has caused us to have multiple uh, monikers because of where we may be in the term of endearment that I may use for you within certain moments. And so I can't use that in every moment, especially being aware of social media and the negatives that can come from that. And I'll give you a prime example. Purely innocent. My 16-year-old, when she was my little midget, my little mini me, I used to call her midget. And from the time she started walking until I'm going to say right up until about 2.5, 3, that was my nickname for her. Like, come here, midget, come on, midget. And I remember being in the park one day, and I'm calling her, come on, midget, let's go, come on, midget. But there was an actual midget in the park,
Oh,
and totally oblivious to this until I kind of scanned And my brain went, oh, now if somebody with a cell phone
Oh my God, yeah.
were to post this, now it's Hannibal,
Called
the
Yeah.
little
a
person
midget.
harasser,
Right.
you
Completely
know.
out of context. Losing
And
your
so,
job, the whole nine.
and I think for again for those same types of reasons, because your jobs and everybody else that's trying to find something on you or find something for you, they're checking social media, and it may not be your page, it may be somebody else's page, but they're looking to collect data, good, bad, or indifferent. And so we have to we those of us that have sense,
Mhm.
we govern ourselves a little differently in certain scenarios. You
Mhm.
know, freedom has borders still.
Yep.
So
Okay.
while I may have a sexy nickname for you when we're alone,
Mhm.
Use
when
that
we're
shit in
out in
pudding.
public now, it's a little, it's, it's a little watered down.
Look at it.
So
Okay, I can see that.
I'm coming back in with a doozy. But go ahead, take it away, Miss Star.
No, these are all awesome points, and I, like you said, Facebook, social media, all the apps has really changed the social landscape of pet names and everything. Because now, even though people know, most people know that they're individuals, um, they've all become kind of like commodities. You know what I mean? And so, uh, and you can't tell an inflection of tone when you're typing a response
Right.
to someone. So, like, I tend to call people sweetie, sweetheart. But to me, it means that there is something that they've done to endear them to me. And I tend to explain that, because most people, I'm going to call them by their name, you know.
Okay.
And it's then when they, there's certain personality aspects to them, which then makes it more personalized. And it's funny that we were talking about terms of endearment when I was teaching. Um, you had this whole roster of everything like that. And it was in an at-risk school, so a lot of the kids felt lost. And so naturally, because I tended to make nicknames for people based on, you know, just endearment, I'd never be like, hey, big forehead or anything silly like that. It's like, hey, I got an 8 head. But it would be these terms of endearment to the point where the kids didn't even want me calling them by their government name because they knew that was a term of endearment. And so we're in a society where we feel invisible. So if someone really comes out and they're intentional in calling you by a name that means something to them, it's a big deal. And that's why I said like social media, it's like a double-edged sword, you know? So I mean, even my son, I have a pet name for him, and I made the mistake of just saying it to someone else. My son's 20 years old. He's like, excuse you? So this is because he knows how I use these pet names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me,
Mhm.
I have an impeccable mind to find the conversation and turn it in a way where it can either go either way, right?
Oh
So
boy.
this is what
Let's go.
so this is what this conversation is meant for. So, ladies,
Oh,
when a man steps to you
Mhm.
and asks you about another guy, and you say to him, "Oh, that's just my friend,"
Okay.
right?
and heels.
Right. No friend.
That
Friend
doesn't
is a friend.
decipher. Hold on, that doesn't decipher whether you fucking him or not, because even if it's a dude that y'all not exclusive, but y'all are fucking
Right.
to the outside world,
Uh-huh.
that's just my friend. Because, so now
Right.
the question is, how do you decipher that's just my friend? When I'm trying to get to know you on a level,
Right.
right? And you tell me you introduce this guy that you could be digging the glass, fucking,
I'm gonna use that one. Okay.
because you ain't got none, you ain't you single, but you
Right.
don't like Y'all don't like that. Enhance the body count.
Right.
You don't like to enhance the body count, right? So you know, he's the regular when you ain't in a relationship. But y'all ain't good enough to be in a relationship. Y'all just where y'all at.
Okay.
Y'all got that understanding.
Okay. But he is my friend.
I get
So
it.
I need to be more. So you all are saying that I need to be.
So as a man,
telling you.
right. So as a man who coming at you like, yo, who is it? You know, oh, this is so this is Tony. We're gonna use Tony for the
Right,
same.
right.
Oh, this is Tony, right? Oh, he's just my friend. And now I'm supposed to be like, oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Y'all ain't volunteering, y'all right. Smashing old girl.
Especially when you get like sometimes
All the initial intro.
right. A lot of
I
times
usually like, yo,
No,
so
you don't.
it's a listen.
a
Me
lot
and
of times they're like
had
just a friend.
me and you had this discussion in the beginning. Just go ahead and assume that I already look big.
Okay, well I'm
Yeah, but I think nowadays you have to
Go
get.
ahead and assume. If we call her, listen, if I introduce you to this woman and said whoever she is, just go ahead and put it in your mind that we did already did.
okay, you know what? Like okay, for me,
That way we get this emotional thing out.
out the way.
The problem with that is he was treating me like all the rest of the women. He didn't treat me as an individual. Later, he done put all his cards out there on the table, thinking that I wasn't the type of woman that can embrace being 100, as they call it, keeping it 100, keeping it a book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then he got, oh, she for real, for real. Oh, now you need to make it make sense, because what I don't want is to be with that round the way fillet. Okay.
What you mean, community?
Oh yeah.
We talking about
I'm
women
just saying.
addressing men
No,
as
It's vice
friends.
versa.
But
So why would you, on first intro, that's not normal conversation. That's abnormal conversation that a person be volunteering that. But the thing is, he was digging you, girl. Okay. And he was trying to, you know what I'm saying, say the right things, but at the same time, he knew he had unresolved issues
But I said this
that was happening. He didn't exactly say that up front. He kind of had to say something up front, but I ain't gonna say that publicly because you know they might follow us. I don't know.
Oh my god.
But it was fine because he was just a guy I was associating with, just communicating with. You know what I'm saying? I had no expectations on the table. So the situation that he was entertaining, I didn't have no quarrels about it because me and you ain't even nothing. Right. Persons that you is just a friend.
Right.
until
The end. Now,
Well,
what
you
do
know
you
what?
have to say?
It's like this. I mean, it's like this. I've been incredibly upfront, maybe to my detriment, but because the reason why I do that is, you know, it's not like I'll do something good about it. You know, it'll be a discussion away from the person. But the only reason is if I see us going somewhere.
Right,
You know
because I'm
what I
gonna
mean?
put all my cards on the
Yeah,
table
why
for
would I
somebody
do
that this
that?
conversation gonna be over by the time you walk away.
Right.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you ain't gonna stop fucking motherfucker.
I might.
You know what I'm saying? If your cards on the table or not, you know what I'm saying?
But see, that's now you being rude.
But no,
Yes, a person will if you are intriguing enough.
right.
I will. See, the problem is the people that he had
First of all,
dealings with.
wait.
Let me take
Why
a
you
Let me
Start
Why
lumping all.
Oh,
You cannot say all women the same way all men. It ain't fair for us to say all men.
Noodles wants to say something.
time out. Hold on. When did this begin to be a personal conversation?
It ain't personal.
I asked an up-ended question that I have not gotten an answer to.
No, I did. It's so funny because someone that I was with, and maybe it was one time or whatever the case might be. I don't think it's we don't have to go through the ancestry DNA and all of that with the person.
Whoa.
Why I gotta tell you all of that information?
Time out. Why?
That ain't your business.
Because if I'm investing any ounce of time with you, filleting, finessing, getting you warmed up, and then to walk away for you to set on somebody else's lawn?
No, see that
because we ain't on that level yet.
No, you're talking about a current situation, like a current.
Let's bring it back to terms and gear.
That is, we talking about friends.
Yeah, but let me jump. Let me jump.
Honestly, guys really divulge that, and then you're
ambiguity. Okay.
I think
and then you have to be embarrassed.
I think Hannibal.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Hannibal.
Yeah, I was going to say, and friend, as you put it out there, is no longer just friend. It's been twisted into ambiguity, as I put. So if you want to have clarity on that, or if you want to have definition on that, then you need to get clarity. And so now there's a set of specific questions that you have to ask in order to get to the real question or the real answer of what you were.
Are y'all fucking?
There you go. There's one. Are you involved on an emotional level? Are you, who else are you seeing? I mean, if that's where you're trying to drill down to, now you have to ask those questions, because it used to be that you had friend, and then you had, it used to be you had three types of friends. You had friend, which is really your friend, and then you had, that's my friend, and that we know that meant somewhere else. And then every girl's got a gay friend. So you had those three as standard. Now it's just it's at the will of the person what they want it to be.
Look, everybody, my friend. I mean, not like that friend, but we all like.
You're muted, Velvet.
Turn your mute.
There you go.
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
Oh, I can't hear.
You have no volume.
Oh no.
You lost it.
Ooh, I'm really digging this blue friend, this blue hair friend.
Oh my God, I love it. I love that. Oh,
I don't know where your volume is. Can't hear you.
I'm gonna wear some colored hair on Friday.
Switch off and switch back on.
I don't want to hear what she had to say for real.
You silly. You are so silly.
I don't know why you muted. I ain't got you muted. You done hit something. Check your actual system volume.
But I know I was gonna touch a nerve.
Nerve? I'm good, because for me,
she went to bed her whole way personal.
I'm definitely looking for her, getting her volume situated.
I don't know, Buddha. I think you hit the whole nervous system with that one.
And it's funny because someone, I won't go into detail on where we were or anything. I'm just going to say, use this as general. It was just a general thing, and it actually happened very recent. And so the individual made a comment about they saw me, blah, blah, blah. And okay, I see you big, And so this one was, he had fist balled up and everything. Because it was a man that said it, but it kind of went over my head because I heard the BIH, because that's people using that now, as a term of endearment.
Yeah, that's one of my less than
Yeah,
ones.
but you know, just kind of being spicy in the conversation, you know, part of the conversation, they was, you know, and you can see the hand movement, like, you know what I'm saying? And so they go away or whatever, and he was like, man, I was about to punch old dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like, wait a minute, if he would have said, you know, the full word,
Right.
One more time.
One more time.
I'm gonna defend my love.
And I was like, wait, baby, hold on, time out. So I had to repeat what it was, the true context.
Right.
I'm not saying it was right or wrong per se, but it was just the context in which it was being utilized. It wasn't being used in a derogatory perspective.
Right.
But I know that's one of those words that goes in the box of the N word, you know.
Yeah.
It's used, but it's not used in the derogatory perspective. And so whether it's right or wrong, or however you personally feel, it's just if you know, if you talking to your boy or your homegirl, and you be like, you know, and so that's going to be one of those terms of endearment that the masses don't like.
Like the word
N-word.
I was gonna say.
That's
I was about to come out there. I was about to come out and say,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But
and you seen that backhand was ready, but don't you do it.
Don't do it.
The thing, though.
Right.
We diffuse the masses by using the word as a term of endearment.
Right. Take back the power of the word. In essence, I mean, that's what the argument is that I've heard is that, okay, we're going to take back the power of the word, where it was a word that was used.
I don't have a starting smile on it.
People will be like, no, as a people to take back the word. I personally do not like the word. I don't, but
I'm gonna say it a few times.
Yeah.
So
I ain't even gonna lie.
But I won't say
I
the
try
first
not to do it all out.
Yeah.
Right. F-E-R-A-A-G-H. However you want to spell it.
All the way wrong.
It's in my vocabulary.
So here's my question on that. We can talk about the N word or bit,
right?
Or
however you spell it.
However you want to spell it, right?
Right.
So if words have meaning and have power,
right,
then why are we giving those words that type of power? Right. So like if I meet a young lady, right? If I meet her and she bitch this, that in her normal conversation, when she's directing it, other people and herself,
right?
I'm a real bitch. I'm a real this. I'm a
little weird at you there.
So I'm just saying. So so I'm gonna ask. I always ask this question. I ask this question right when we end this conversation. So you mean you want me to treat you like a bitch?
And that's why I'm saying, okay. So now the next part to the
because I can do that.
Right.
So
but you're not gonna like me. You know what I'm saying?
Society. Yeah. So now when we're using these terms of endearment,
right,
from a societal perspective, with like how you saying,
right,
it's kind of crazy because in our subgroups we use certain terms because it's I don't want to call it cultural, but it technically is a cultural thing. But there are certain terms.
So on the flip side, when we talk about this inward, right.
Do not make this conversation end exclusively on this N-word. Because what you and Hannibal ain't gonna do tonight.
No, hear me now. Hear me what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm just
hear what I'm saying. So on this
you dragged on this stuff.
Okay.
So on this N-word thing, like, how do you expect us? I mean, the masses. I'm not gonna say that. The masses to treat us as regular human beings, right?
Right.
As regular human beings. If we consider ourselves the same thing, we don't want them to consider us.
But do we consider ourselves that just because I'm using that in that sentence, or I'm using it because I'm not saying that I consider myself that because I'm using it in my vocabulary.
I don't use the word. I don't address anyone as that because I just don't like it. But I'm not going to judge someone because we're doing enough judging as a people.
But I am a hypocrite.
So
Because I will judge you if that's all.
Well, see, and it's different, like you
If
said.
that's all you if you
So
have no vocabulary at all,
So I'm asking,
I am being judgmental.
so I'm gonna ask this question before I turn it over. Right? I really don't give two fucks
Right.
about you using this word towards me because we all inclusive,
Right.
because we all
Melanated. Right.
melanated skin, right? But when we talk about judging, right? If it's somebody outside of our race, that's when we start to judge, correct?
No.
No?
I mean, it's the only
I'm
thing
not.
that we.
Correct or no? I mean,
I'm not. That's not my gear. That's not my
But when you-
trigger
but when
to
you
judge.
hear,
I'm judging. Period.
I hear what you're saying.
More so, especially within.
Because
That's your primary vocabulary.
I'm only gonna say this, baby, because you said this not even 5-10 minutes ago. I'm a hypocrite, and you use the word within your own circle.
Right.
Correct? So that circle can expand based on who you know, right? Right? Do you agree?
Right.
So if it was, say, Whitey from Living Color era,
Wow.
or Habib, or however you want to call it, even in using that word Habib, that could be offensive
Right.
to those people. No, I'm just saying, like,
Right.
that could be offensive, right? But that's a term of the difference between them mostly. Right. So, like, at what point do we as people want to be taken seriously? If you a female, do you want to be treated like a bitch? Right.
I get your point.
Or do you, as a culture,
right?
Do you want people to look at us this way because I see a light-skinned Latino guy call me "What's up?" N-word, or I see somebody who lived on Paramount Street and he happened to be white,
right?
Because he lived in our hood, he feel like he could use the word. You know what I'm saying?
Like that assimilation.
I ain't gonna judge him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
he's a product of his environment. So I'm not gonna judge him.
So Hannibal had his hand. Go ahead.
Run it, Hannibal. Elevated speech.
I 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Yes, I'm judging. Why am I judging? Because there were many battles that were fought over this word, and not over the word, but over the power within the word, over the meaning within the word, over the degradation that came along with that word. So you can't tell me 400 or 1,000 years later that I'm going to take this word that meant so much in a negative manner, and now I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it a term of endearment. I don't care if you change it to IH, whatever you want to change it on the end. It's the same word. The difference is that now they don't have to call us the word because we're doing it for them. And then not only are we doing it for them, but we're perpetuating it and we're allowing it from other communities. I find myself in the mall, on campuses, and be groups of young men, Black, Cuban, Jewish. I'm walking in the mall through one day, and it's a Black kid, a little Jewish kid, a little Hispanic kid. They walking, and they da 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 da. The hairs on the back of my neck are standing up because I wanted to reach out and touch somebody. That's just how I feel about the word, and I don't allow y'all have never heard me use the word. Okay? My boys don't call me the word. I don't call them the word because we can go all the way back to college. I'm the dude showing up at the cookout going, "Hey, we shouldn't be doing this," and everybody like, here he come again.
I can see that. I can see that.
You can't take it and flip it. All you're doing is you're adopting it and fooling yourself, and now they don't have to. And it's systemic. If we keep layering onto the system, and if we keep fooling ourselves and saying that, we're making it something different. We're not. We're not. And if you look at and you ask the question, do we get offended from other cultures? Or do we judge other cultures? We used to.
Yep.
We used to. Now we don't.
Right.
Which makes it even more insulting because now it's not just coming from the one side, the white side, it's coming from all over. And we
Yeah.
are the ones perpetuating that.
Mm.
So that word still digs at me. And here's an example to where people know it's wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna go somebody old school that should know it's wrong. I'm gonna pull an example. There was a young man. I'm in the park one Saturday morning. I'm in the park teaching a fitness class. In this fitness class was a group of black women. Okay. Now, immediately adjacent to us in the field, we were in the park this day. In the field is a younger Hispanic man, and he's da 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 da. And I mean, it's really right in our atmosphere and so loudly with this. And this makes me uncomfortable. It makes me irritable. Okay, especially coming from the other side. And the look on the women's faces, I could tell they were uncomfortable. So I politely, nicely try to have a conversation with them, like, hey, can we, let me have a conversation with you for a second. To say to him, listen, this is a very insulting word. Do you mind not? Because I know I can't stop him from saying it. And I'm not going to get into that physical thing because it's not worth me losing anything.
Right.
So we had a conversation. He walks away. So now he intentionally starts doing it more and louder. And then when I look and I go to walk towards him again, he starts running away. So it's not that they're ignorant of what it is. They know exactly what it is. So now I know what it means. And now you're allowing me to call you this. And I'm going to keep doing it. And not only am I going to do it, now my boy's going to do it and everybody else is going to do it. Because you now are saying it's a term of endearment. So we're going to keep on doing it. And y'all calling yourselves that. So no, I don't have to. Now we've got the wheel turning.
How do you feel about that? The Velvet with this whole situation, and we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up. But I want to get your opinion. Societal expectations, social media expectations, the usage of the various terms of endearment, and how it is possibly impacting, the impact of it as a whole.
And the friends are free.
Oh, you still lost your volume.
Oh my God. But you have to reset everything?
I can't hear you at all.
Turn off the mic on there.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
You want to log out and come back in?
Yeah,
Do that.
There you go.
Because I want to get her opinion about
Let's
it.
go to Brenda.
Yes.
About how I feel about using the word.
About all that we did.
Okay. Well, names. You know how they say sticks and stones may break your bones?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But names will never hurt me.
Okay.
We obviously know that that is not true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sticks and stones do hurt your bones, but names, what we say to people, actually sometimes has longer effect than probably hitting someone. I mean, both are not right, but because it lingers in our psyche, I mean, it sits in our subconscious, our lizard brain, and then what ends up happening is we act out according to what we've been told. I mean, like think about when a child is constantly called stupid, that they're not good enough, and so on and so forth. And if they don't get the help, they are seeking out validation that they didn't get, like with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like self-actualization.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things are back to the things that they're called. I mean, think about when we're named after a grandmother or grandpa, that powerful name. You know what I mean? And it's important, and this is something that I spoke about, and I spoke to my son about. His father, he's passed on, but he did not want to name my son after him because he said he was named after his father, and his father left them. So what he did is he wanted to name him after his youngest brother, who he's very close to, and then give the middle name of my father. So when we think about words, those are words and names. They give you power, and that's it. I tried to be very careful in how I respond to certain things on Facebook, because I'm not gonna lie, when I first started on Facebook, I was like, what is it?
Right. Everybody.
And then I'm realizing now that I have to be careful because I don't know. Something that I say can set someone off the edge. So I'd rather say something that can keep them on the edge.
Well, something you can say to set them off the edge, even if you said it 20 years.
We'll see that.
You just never know.
You just never.
It's really,
Yeah.
and the thing is, the sadness is, even with us being, we're professional, we have a professional platform, right? We have to be mindful of things, of words, because, let me just do a mic check. Say something, Velvet.
Test 1 2 1 2.
Okay, we got you. I just want to check that before I finish this statement. And what I was going with is the words in terms, and using things in those casual settings. As Hannibal mentioned earlier, he could have easily been videoed. Yep. And that it could be taken
Out of context.
wholly out of context, and based on the gentleman with the book.
No, he's with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, that
And
using terms and racial slurs.
Right, but he did those. I'm not saying he did do them now, but he did those like almost 8-9 years ago.
Right.
And they surfaced up.
But recently, apparently, there was additional things said.
Right, but so it's like that's a whole nother subject.
Right, that's a whole nother subject. But just using that as an example,
I'm not going
there.
Usually I like to go down all these rabbit holes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you do it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm gonna hold you back. Hold you good, hold your beer. Please.
Right.
Nah, that's just green soda.
I know.
Being.
So Velvet, talk to the Velvet.
Yeah. Yes.
Talk to the people.
So I would say I understand respectability politics and Black excellence, and based on these things, we're not supposed to say this and it's okay to say that.
Right.
But I think that if you study, the history of the word, you will find that niggas was actually a king in Africa.
Yep.
And highly respected, huge title. And who knows if that is the truth. We know that story is true, but we don't know if that is where the word came from. But it is said in some cultures that that's where it started as a term of excellence, and then it was turned around on us and used as this derogatory thing. But I say all that to say I don't care nothing about respectability, politics, and things of that nature. I think there's nothing like a well-placed, well-timed, N-word
Bomb drop.
in there.
Bomb.
And I think I said what I said, and you know what I mean. And also, I think that if there is one word that could kind of set you off and make you adversarial to your fellow brother and sister, just because of where they may have come from and them being so comfortable with this word, I think the enemy is winning. I think there's so many more uplifted things that we could say to each other, that we could do for each other, versus coming down on someone because of how they're dressed and the words that they're using. Like we have to get over those small things and really deal with the bigger picture of real life issues, in my opinion.
Now, this is me in my closing thought. I totally agree, which is crazy because again, I'm very transparent when I say I am judgmental. Or not so, I'm more like a hypocrite. And again, for me, I really care less. And I know it's probably bad, that I care less. However, I cannot give all the things that energy.
Right.
Now, granted, if I know that that individual is just a simple, it is as simple as they are a product of their environment. I'm not gonna. That's where I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna meet you there because I understand. I have, it is what it is. However, if you are not, that is not a typical environmental conversation, and your vocabulary does not extend beyond that. Now, I might not necessarily not per se deal with you, uh, but I know how to deal with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's pretty much me across the board to whom it may concern.
Right.
Because I am well versed.
Verbose.
Okay, that thing gonna fire out because it sounds better sometimes when you say it with your chest. Okay, and so it's probably gonna happen. Now but I don't generally use it out of anger. Like I don't use it from an anger perspective. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll probably like it's more like
right instead of saying you dirty,
right.
Instead of saying you dirty,
blah, blah,
yeah.
I'll probably use the M word, MF. I'm MFing you all the time. Ain't this a MF? So like those are those are my hardcore words. Like that I'm gonna drop that thing, boy. Boom. Good or bad. It could be good. Woo! Ain't this you know what I'm saying? So it just all depends. But ultimately, terms of endearment, deciphering and discerning terms of endearment and the usage of it. It is, again, it goes back to what I originally said about this is my perspective. Subjective. Everybody is going to receive and perceive how they move through their lives. And, so I am at a point in my life where I'm not hell bent on you say this, you say that, I'm secure in myself, I'm secure in my relationship. And so but I will notice patterns. I can I'm not oblivious to what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. And so if it does make me feel a certain type of way, I'm going to talk about it. I'm pretty quick to before let me deal with these feelings now. Don't take it away from me.
Right.
However, I will be more inclined to engage in the conversation because I am in my feelings and I need to know, am I in my feelings prematurely? Did I perceive something a certain way? Or let me just let you know how you was moving.
Right.
Gave me the wrong impression if that's not what it is. But if that's what it is, let's talk about why. What was you thinking when you did that? Yeah. Okay. Those type of things, said that to that person, like, hold up, now that's abnormal behavior.
Right.
Especially when it's abnormal behavior, and you over there like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not here to control what an adult says. I don't have the time, space, energy for that. However, I do have the opportunity, and I know in our relationship, we have created an environment where we can actually use our words in a positive way to have understanding and clarity. Even if it's to agree to disagree, we have created that safe environment for ourselves so that we can engage in the good, bad, and ugly conversations. And so with that being said, in terms of endearment, I can decipher and discern the difference. I know when I'm with my girls, he knows how that guy, that conversation is probably about to go. Okay. Period. Who?
Okay.
When he with his boys, same thing.
Right.
And I just, first of all, I'm about to exit stage left because I don't want no parts of it.
Right.
Generally. So there's that.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, like you said, you know what you're willing to tolerate, what you're not willing to tolerate. It's the same thing with me. I understand that people is part of their vernacular, and I'm not going to just outwardly judge and be like, you shouldn't. You know what I mean? It was only like in a classroom setting where I'm like, this is not acceptable. But as far as you meet people from all walks of life, and just because they might use the word doesn't mean that they're a bad person. If I feel uncomfortable or if they're doing it too much, hey, I'm kind of like feeling this way, and that's it. You know what I mean? I don't want to give it so much power because it gained so much traction in our history. And we're fighting so many battles as it is. So you gotta pick and choose them. You gotta pick and choose them. Because right now, especially with everything that's going on in the world, we have to really kind of keep our vibrations up, and it's easier said than done. So I don't want to be like, okay, you know what, I'm feeling really great, but because you use that, I'm not gonna talk to you. It's not that. Now, of course, if Craig or something like that comes up and he's like, then it's gonna be like this black right now, and rainbow screen comes on. So that's it.
Right. No. Some things are just blatant.
Right. Exactly.
And you act accordingly.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's get it, Hannibal.
I am this thing off.
I don't think that we need to. I agree on all points in terms of um, expending energy. You know, making it a battle zone. That doesn't need to be the case, and it doesn't. We don't need to give it credence to the point to where it causes further division within our inner circles. But I do think we need to have the conversation in mass. And create some awareness. There used to be a general sense of awareness. And I remember having a conversation once with my uncles on the porch. They were using the word. This has been years ago, and I said to them, "Hey, aren't y'all the same dudes that fought not to be called this?" And they kind of looked at each other and went, "Damn, he's right." And it tempered the tone of the conversation from that point. Um, I don't know where we go with it. I know how I feel about it in terms of usage, and in terms of definition. And Dr. Velvet, yes, I've read the story as well. Again, the history. Which one came first, the chicken or the egg? That's the big question there. And then if that is the case, then it is a whole different conversation we need to have in terms of reorientation. Um, But again, I don't think it needs to be the battle zone. I think instead of empowering this word further, we need to look to other words and empower them, and therefore push ourselves along. We're stuck on this. We're going to be stuck on this as long as we're using the word.
I'm ready.
Yep.
You ready?
Let's get it, Buddha.
I'm ready.
So how do we move forward?
All right. So it's
Yeah.
2 layers. I'm gonna combine all this in one. All right.
Let's get it, baby.
Number one, for each woman out here who doesn't like for me to call another woman baby, sweetheart, or whatever, because they want to be individualized. What is the difference when we talk about bitch or the N-word? Now you want to make a case for using these other words because of you cool with it.
Mhm.
But then when a person uses sweetheart,
Right.
sugar, boo,
Right.
bae to somebody outside of the person that you're in exclusive with, you have that problem. I need you to keep that same energy when you're dealing with them words that outside of our inner circle, we have that problem with. So, as Brenda's Miss Starr and some others say that words have a power, have this power to them,
right?
Regardless if we educated on the history of another land,
Right.
we live here, and they use that word as a strike. We use that word as a term of endearment. But if you want to be taken seriously in corporate America,
right,
you know not to use that word, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in order to change the narrative and be respected on all phases of this great world, right? In our country, then what that means, we need to do. We need to hold ourselves accountable on the little things. And as little as that may be,
right,
it's big when others are looking at it. And what others think,
right,
that matters. Because we're trying to get on a level where we feel like we're equal to everyone else.
and that's very true.
I got you. I got you. You know, and of course, I'm not going to extend it.
I got it. But I'm trying
very
to
good point. Very good. Very, very good point. But I just want to add to what you're saying. It's not to say that we should not change the narrative. By far, none of that. However, as Velvet mentioned earlier, Brenda mentioned as well, we do have bigger fish to fry. And unfortunately, it has been embedded into the generations across all races of the term.
Right.
When we talk specifically about
I'm guilty
that
of
part.
using the word myself.
Right.
I'm guilty.
And despite how it's not that we, the people of color, are using it to minimize who we are.
Right.
It's again, it's a it for us it's cultural.
Right.
For others, as you said, it's stripe, right?
Right.
And so if you are talking to me before I even open my mouth, you've already, because of your cultural history,
right,
you've already predetermined.
Or code switching.
No. Before I even use my words, you've already predetermined what I am based off of the color of my skin.
Right.
So you've already prejudged me. You've already prematurely judged me,
right,
and went under the assumption that I don't have adequate vocabulary.
Right.
And then when you speak to me, it's a whole nother, now you got to treat me accordingly.
Right. I didn't know you knew that. Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm versed and all of that. But nonetheless,
right,
when we're talking about terms of endearment, this is just one of those subjects that, we like to present to people, to ourselves, real talk, real life, real people. Because in reality, especially now with us being in social media and so forth, we hear these things and we see these things. It's all over. And not just social media, it is in our society as a whole, the use of terms of endearment and how it can be perceived, whether it's in your home, it's with your girls, it's with your boys, being greeted in public when you're amongst men.
Right.
And you address them as men, or you address them as kings. It goes into knowing your audience. But when you start using a term and you start using it for you gonna tell her, you gonna tell him, you know what I'm saying? It gets a little it then can become perceived as being imbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
However, everybody is entitled because as you mentioned earlier, Velvet, hey, that was my baby at that time, and I meant that. Like that's great.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay.
Right.
So then next babe come around, you be calling out, you call all your men babe, and I do.
Just go ahead and tattoo my name.
You know what I'm saying? And I do. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's like I said, I'm notorious for giving you a pet name. Like I'm notorious for giving you a name like Sweetie, Ladybug, Sugar Plum, Sugar Bell.
Yeah.
Like
Sugar pudding.
Like
Right.
part of it is because I'm a seasoned woman, and you know all the elders they will call you baby, baby, come here, sweetie, honey, come here,
Yeah.
Pudding,
Right.
come here, go over there and fetch that for me, right quick.
Okay. I
Okay.
get 5 puddings trying to go.
You know what I'm saying? Which pudding? Because all the pudding's moving.
Right.
Because we know when Big Mama say pudding, somebody better be on deck. Okay.
But it said with love.
And it's all love. So, you know, it just all depends. You know, everything is situational and so forth. But I really appreciate you all coming through tonight, sticking with us through the good, bad, and ugly of all the things. Thank you so much, Brenda, for coming in.
Thank you.
Make sure you let us know about your blog once you get everything up and running.
And I'm working with someone with Mrs. Bennett in the Bronx Kingdom. I'm doing like mental wellness related to art.
Oh, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, so I'm just in the initial stages.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Like,
look at you.
Well, I'm glad you get because you know for a while. Let's just be real, everybody.
Right. Our
lovely turtle has come out of her shell. Okay. And so it's good, you know, and I appreciate her coming around, and especially, you know, because again, we like to have people on our show. People always say, what's the benefit? Okay, well, first of all, the benefit for her is her expertise is in mental health.
Right.
We need to know that person, be it for someone else or for ourselves personally. Okay. So it's always good, you know what I'm saying, to have people come on. So at least because when I hear something, I'm going to refer the person that's most closest to me that I trust. And then if I trust them and I'm telling you to go and talk to them, they're probably more inclined to at least follow my lead or Buddha's lead. You know what I'm saying? They're going to call Velvet. They're going to call Hannibal for whatever the services are to be rendered. You know what I'm saying? Whatever services are available and so forth, or just someone within their network. Right. And that's what this is all about. That's what this platform is all about, making things happen. You know what I'm saying?
I know that I can open up whatever my issues.
Yeah, because this is just the beginning. You're gonna be on stage with me one day.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We're gonna be
You said mental health.
All about the ladies. You doing your thing. Buddha gonna be doing his man. You know what I'm saying? Man thing. I didn't say little man thing. Y'all better watch out now, because me and all the prize.
So I got you on deck.
So
for that.
we love you all. Hannibal, you know you my boy. I know you Buddha's boy, but you know you know what I'm saying. I be like, come back, come here. Oh, bite. No. Velvet, you stay. I'm glad you back.
I like the blue. I can't wait to see what you got next week.
I wish I could just do some blue.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love you all. I know we do. Sipping and Conversation with Buddha and Baby loves you all the most. And until next week, same time, same energy. Guess what? Next week is episode 12 of 12. Woo. So that means Buddha and Baby is gonna be on vacation for a couple weeks, y'all. Woo, woo. So if y'all trying to get at us, you know what I'm saying? So you can be our next guest, or you got a topic. Make sure y'all pull up. Pull up on me. Okay. Until next week, we out.
We sipping in conversation. Sipping in conversation.
Beam me up, Scotty.